Throughout everyone's life, we will at some point come to face the death of a loved one, perhaps multiple times, and eventually we ourselves will become that loved one. Death is a part of life, whatever the terms or cause may be. In remembrance of the deceased, we honor the special times we have all shared, and how he or she has touched us individually. Aristotle's rhetoric defined epidictic rhetoric as that which marks special occasions and deserves distinct attention and evaluation for the requirements and expectations created by these occasions. One situation, an appropriate rhetoric, is for the loss of a loved one or friend, and in this event, you may be the one others look to write that appropriate rhetoric. Hi, my name is Lacey Hawk, and I'm talking about writing a eulogy. A eulogy is simply a speech about the person who has passed away, and is usually given during a memorial or funeral ceremony, often given by a close friend or relative. Public speaking strikes fear into many, as most of us have learned. Then, by adding the discomfort of discussing death, may very well send anyone into panic. If you have been asked to write or read a eulogy, then don't let these things bother you too much. Take this to heart and remember that this is not about how well you do. It is ultimately about remembering the deceased as a loving tribute to them. A funeral is one time you'll surely have an empathetic audience. They feel for you and are on your side. You'll only have to speak for about 5 to 10 minutes, but your gift will live in the hearts of the deceased family and friends. To begin, there is no right way to compose a eulogy. Every person is an individual and has led diverse and colorful lives, so you can pretty much create the speech any way you want. In the book, A Labor of Love, How to Write a Eulogy by Gary Schaefer, a eulogy should convey the feelings and experiences of the person giving the eulogy, and should be written in an informal, conversational tone. Eulogists often write about the person's attributes, memories, and common times that were shared together. Sit down and write from the heart, says Kevin Stockholm from Stockholm and Stockholm Funeral Home, located in Columbus, Ohio. Sometimes they include the deceased's favorite poems, books, passages, scripture verses, quotes, or even lines from a song. Whatever is selected, it generally reflects the loved one's lifestyle. So, how did you and the deceased become so close? Is there a humorous or touching event that represents the essence of your past loved one? What did you and others love and admire about the deceased? And what will you miss most about him or her? These questions should help get you thinking. Some of the simplest thoughts are deeply touching and easy for those gathered to identify with. For example, I'll miss her smile, or I'll never forget the way he made everybody laugh, are just as good as I admired her selflessness. Remember, above all, to just be honest and focus on the person's positive qualities. If you are inclined to be a perfectionist, lower your expectations and just do what you can in the short amount of time and in your emotional state. This is a tough time for everybody. But to help, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can also interview other family members and friends. They will have stories from their own personal perspective that they will be more than willing to share, and are likely going to be grateful to feel included. Put your eulogy on paper, or at least an outline. And lastly, humor is acceptable if it fits the personality of the deceased. Don't be afraid to include a lighthearted story. This is actually a great way to uplift the audience's spirit. Not everything needs to be somber. You're all gathered to celebrate this person's life, not dwell on what's been lost. In a journal article written by Mike Testa titled, How to Write a Eulogy, if you're worried about choking or breaking down in the middle of your eulogy, you can take a moment to compose yourself, then carry on. Or you can have a backup person ready to step in. He also recommends giving a copy to the minister or funeral director so that they may finish if you are unable to continue, which is really okay if you are. It is better to not become hysterical and keep the attendees calm. But if you still need help preparing your eulogy, there are companies willing to help. At lovingeulogies.com, you can purchase an online guide to writing eulogies, or even have their professional writer develop a custom eulogy for you. This concludes my speech. Thank you for taking the time to listen, and I hope it will help you if you're ever faced with the tragedy of loss.